Fashion, the prevailing or accepted style in dress or personal decoration established or adopted during a particular time or season. Three elements: acceptance, style, and point in time. Hey guys, it's Jillian Fialko here, or Bozo Loves TA. So today I am going to be talking to you about the fashion cycle, and I'm going to talk to you about the bell curve and the time period of how things are processed, and kind of explain to you how it actually works in the work field, what you kind of experience. So I hope you guys enjoy. It's fun for me, so I'm not sure if it will be so fun for you because it's kind of terms and basics, but I like it, and you should too if you're into fashion. I'm kidding. But I love it, so I hope you guys enjoy. And yeah, let's get started. Okay. So first up, I want to talk about the fashion cycle, and it is a 12 to 18 months before showing textiles to manufacturers. So in the work world right now, we are just starting. Okay, let me start off. Okay, this is for the textile industries. They'll do all the fabrics and such, and they have a big show of like all their fabrics. So they will, and a lot of places actually have certain fabrics on stock. So usually this goes for most higher end designers who who have to make their own fabric. Okay, then 3 to 9 months before showing their lines to buyers, manufacturers decide styles and fabrics. And this is so true. Right now, we are just finishing up spring for 2011. We still have a lot of stuff to do for a holiday, but we just finished up, and now we're just tweaking it and adding new ideas, taking away ideas. So that's what happens in the 3 to 9 months. So it will go on this. So in that 12 to 18 months, you will brainstorm ideas, and then you'll have to show the CEO your ideas for design. These are the designers. And then once those are approved, colors then decided. And then once the color is decided for your line, then you go into finding out what type of fabrics you use. So the little fabric sheet that I showed you, this fabric sheet where you put the swatch right here, that will be sent out and you will get many back. And at this time you're also developing plaids or patterns that have to be woven in, and they're yarn dyed, which yarn dyed means that the little yarns that make up your clothes are dyed before they're put together as a piece of fabric. And then you have a piece dye, which I think this is partially piece dye, where you make the entire garment and you either have a white or it's usually like a natural color, or grayish color. It's not really white or bleached, and then they dye it all as one piece after sewn and everything like that. And then there is fabric dyed, where before you cut and sew the piece of garment, the fabric is dyed, not the yarns. 2 to 6 months before styles arrive on selling floors, buyers purchase from manufacturers, which in this case, in an actual industry who makes their own clothes, usually this is a win. When most stuff is just either finishing, you usually have, you're also kind of starting to cut the fabric and actually making pieces and units. And units are literally how many pieces of clothing are. So a smaller company, like, okay, Disney is considered a place like Fossil, they'll only get 200 to 300 pieces. Something like Macy's would get thousands of units. So it just depends. Spring Showed held in New York in September, which of course you should know about that, and that's when spring merchandise arrives in February and March. And then fall shows held in New York in February, and then the fall merchandise arrives in August and September. And a lot of retail stores that you see, they will have about one extra set or maybe even 2 sets where they'll rotate in new things. So that's why you see, it will say, oh, it sits in here, but in the retail world, in a company probably like Abercrombie, American Eagle, any of those, there is 4 seasons, which is spring, summer, holiday, and fall, but those are switched, so it's pretty much spring, summer, winter, fall, yeah. So that's how that goes. Fashion trend. The direction in which fashion is moving. Movement is a key. Trends are always moving. Move through cycles every 1 through 7 years. Normal fashion trends is a bell curve. So enough about definitions. So here is a bell curve, if you have not seen it before. Bell curve, yeah. Okay, so when we're talking about fashion, it is in the shape of a bell curve. So you have the innovation right here. Stores that are kind of in an innovation are, let's see, not so much Saks Fifth, but actual designer stores. Kind of any boutiques that carry really high-end fashion. So a lot of people, there's very few people who are in the innovation stage that you see in real life. Those are the people that you kind of look towards. Pretty much Lady Gaga is one of those to the extreme. Then you have the rise stage. The rise stage is what you kind of see people who are ahead of the trend. So people who shop a lot of Nordstrom's or Saks Fifth Avenue, those would be the rise. So they learn about the trend way before it happens. Then there's the acceleration and general acceptance. And those are when you see most people following the trend and going, oh yeah, I can work leggings into my own style. Like wearing the leggings underneath. And then there is the decline. And actually, the general acceptance are most retail stores. So that is places like Express, Forever 21, so on and so forth. So those are the real like general acceptance of a trend. So you see most trending going towards most stores that you see in the mall, unless you have a lot of high-end stores. But and then 5 is decline, and those kind of lead into obsolescence. Wow, I can't talk. Anyways, so those are kind of like, let's say, like Macy's, Kohl's, off-brand stores, you know. So those are, that's kind of the bell curve for you. Yay! So I hope you guys enjoyed. I know it's kind of word book, not always fun, but I find it fun. So let me know if you have any other questions. If you want to learn more about industry practice and theory of fashion, I'll think of cool things to let you guys know. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks, guys.